Hello everybody, I have something I want to share with you, and it is hot off the heels of last week's fun and games of full moon madness and upgrades and integrations and all that crazy energy that, as you know from my last video, had me in bed all week with a migraine. A lot of us suffered emotionally, physically, all of the above. So I want to talk a little bit today about, I want to talk about the integration phase after that now, okay? Where I am right now is there's been a bit of a great reveal, and I'm actually going to speak about that just now because this video is going to be very much for the spiritual entrepreneurs out there, the light workers, and obviously people that maybe not in the spiritual realms. You might be just watching this just for guidance. You're going to get some benefit as to where the blockages are in your life and where there can be more flow. So I'm going to go into that just now, but I want to first of all talk about the post section, the post bit after the full moon, where we are now. I had my last video was actually when I came out of it. I was feeling amazing. I was feeling so much better. And I had literally a day of feeling amazing. And then I popped so severely my left shoulder. And it's been so sore, so painful. And I was like, come on, Spirit, you've given me one day of feeling better, and now I'm being taken out the game again. So I have, it's been challenging. It's been really challenging. So the message, okay, because it slowed me right down. This has slowed me right down. I was ready to go out of this intense energy last week and go right on to the next. And I sometimes move too quickly. So the message that was brought to my attention via this was slow down. Take the time to integrate and bring into a ground, because when you integrate and you embody, effectively you're grounding it, because the physical body is the grounding factor, right? Because it's physical. So it's bringing it into the cells and allowing the experience that's kind of happened around you and all out there and everywhere, allowing it to come into to the cells, allowing you to process it. So you can close on that, take a breath, and then move on to the next phase. So sometimes I tend to skip that middle bit there, and I go from one into the other, and then wonder why I've knocked my teeth out and had another nosebleed, which is probably why this popped. So you know what? Even though we know what we should be doing, do we always follow protocol? No, I know I don't always. And yeah, I always know how it's going to end up, which is not good. So anyway, this is a message of me taking note now. Okay, we need to slow down. So we're going to integrate what came up for you last week. Okay, so last week was very intense. It came with its physical pains and its physical ailments, as well as the emotional stuff, right? So I would like to ask you, take a moment to think about what came up. What was the tone of last week coming up for you? What was it all about? It might have been many things. It may have an undertone of one thing. So if you can now gently transit to this week, and sort of see what it is that you need to, what did you need to understand from all of that? What area in your life was disconnected and needed more energy and flow fed into it so it can come into wholeness? So that is a big question, because this is where our awareness comes in, because, just to take a moment out of our time to actually see the correlation between last week and this week, and then you can lay it to bed. So where we are this week is still, for me, I've got the message like loud and clear, but I was already getting the message that I was happily ignoring about going slow. And being still. We're still in that energy, guys. We're still in that taking it easy, going quietly as you walk among the daisies. Go gentle, go really, really gentle. Because we're still in that energy. And who knows, maybe we're going to be in it for a bit longer until we're told otherwise. But this still energy, first of all, it was being still, letting go of everything because everybody was so sick and it was intense. Now we're in still energy because we need to just catch our breath and allow that nurturing and space holding for yourself to come into play, so you can actually integrate what happened last week. So there's all different aspects of stillness and why we're being called to be still. So understand that you're on light phase 2 now. So what I want to talk about when I talk about spiritual entrepreneurs and light workers, being in the spiritual realms, and like being a light worker, you obviously, trying to get your work out there and working with the energies and trying to help as many people as possible. And with that, we have to cross over into the business realm, right? And this might, like I say, this might not just resonate with spiritual entrepreneurs. This just might resonate with entrepreneurs and people that are just at work who, who feel what I'm saying, because, all of us have jobs, right? All of us may be like in the banking world and we want a promotion, or you've been working for somebody for ages and now you want to start your own business, whatever. We're creatures of ambition. We want better for ourselves. We want to create. We want to do it from a place of joy, flow, and just enjoy. But we always want to create, right? So we're always wanting to make bigger and better things. So with me, because I'm a spiritual entrepreneur, I'm going to share my experience, and I think it might help others or help you. So having popped this shoulder, this energy that was underneath my scapula was very deep, and it was like old, very, very old. It's almost like lifting the chest up and kind of like, getting blasted with old, stale, musty energy and air, it's like, because it's been locked in there for so long. That this pain, nobody's being able to locate, not even myself. I have a good knowledge of anatomy and everything like that. I know the body very, very well, and I can't pinpoint anywhere where it is. It's everywhere and it's nowhere. But the pain, oh my God, underneath the scapula, so no one can get to it. So this has rendered me very, very useless. So I've just been still, okay? But what's the message, okay? If I've done healing work on it myself, I have been to the doctors. Even the doctor couldn't help me. No one could fix it. Even like, body people that do body stress release, nothing can help it. So if this is you and you've got pain in your body and it hasn't moved away and it hasn't gone anywhere, it's because your body speaks your mind. Your body has a message it needs you to understand. And if it hasn't buggered off already from all the things that you need to clear it, well, then it's still got a message for you, which means you haven't received that message. So it's time to just sit down and listen. Now, for me, this is all business related. Being in the spiritual realms and working out there, love it. Love being in flow, love doing my videos, love helping, doing one-on-ones, and I love doing ceremonies, groups, whatever. When I'm in that realm, just love it, absolutely love it. But that requires a vessel to go into, and that's like a business system. So when I step out there in business, it makes me want to go, bleh, because it's 3D, it's all strategic, and it's all marketing, and it just sucks the joy out of me, and it's just an area that I don't like. And so I have a belief system that when I go out there to basically put my work out there that has to pass through a business realm, so to speak, it just makes me feel unsafe. It makes me feel like I don't wanna, and it makes me feel fearful. So I am trying to bring all this spiritual energy into that realm and create and think I'm going to be fine. No, you've got like conflict. You've got spiritual constipation. In fact, you've got worse than spiritual constipation. You've got spiritual piles. You're trying to push it out there and it's just not going, and it's painful and it's sore, and now you can't sit down in your armchair. I mean, ain't no one got time for that, And that's what happens to me when I try and flow and create out there in business, because I have a belief system which is just like not safe, not safe, not safe. So you can understand the oil and water syndrome here, being a spiritual light worker, trying to put my energy out there in flow, which should all be about expansiveness, flow, and all this kind of vibe. And it's just not working. So of course my experiences are only going to be disastrous ones, and it's not going to be enjoyable. So this shoulder popping was as a result of me pushing through, and I'm now listening to what the shoulder has to say to me. And even doing this video now, it's eased up. And that tells me that I'm like, what I'm talking about has some truth. So it's also about, the person who's just working in business in general. Is there an area in your life, where you're just like, you want to expand, you want to be more in your fullness, and you want to be more successful. You want to be more, maybe you want to branch out and go in different areas and take the business to another level, but you can't, because every time you go there and you put your fingers in the flame, it burns sore, and you just think, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? So like there is lack of flow. So the message for me through this shoulder is these 3D areas, as I call them, like the humanness, which really makes me go, because I'd rather be on my unicorn jumping clouds and stars. But this place where I have to be, which actually is the divine masculine in shadow we're talking about here, controlling, being taken out, competitiveness, Facebook and Instagram is full of it. Even spiritual competitiveness, who's the prettiest, who's got the best sunset. I mean, like really it goes on, right? That is the divine masculine in shadow. We want the divine masculine in light, in flow. So what that would look like in the business realms, if you're trying to create and expand, it would be a system that is in place for you that allows your creations to flow into, and you feel safe. You got strong, positive boundaries. You are held as a result of being able to just bring your creations through, which means it's just infinite, it just goes on and on and on. You feel protected. Nobody's going to come in and take you out. And in my experience of business, every time I put my spiritual business out there, I have actually been taken out by other external forces. But I've also called that in because of my belief system, you see. So let's sidestep that now to just your life in general. This might not communicate to you as it's the area of business that's a problem. You might basically be, twice divorced and just want somebody to love you and you to love back. But everything's good at work. This is what usually happens. Everybody's good at work, got a good business going, or you're quite successful in those realms. No money issues, abundance just flows. But for some reason, you can't find the perfect partner. You can't love or be loved. And that's a disaster. But then the next person has got like 10 million kids, blissfully married, in love, everything's tickety-boo, but they are a disaster in business. Do you know what I mean? So when we start to reflect on each other's experiences, we all have that area that doesn't have blood flow or circulation. So I believe this push to give a really, really expansive umbrella so we can all understand it, because we're all in it, is we are being shown, last week we were being shown very, very clearly what doesn't have a good blood flow. And remember, blood flow brings oxygen and nutrients and it feeds the body and all the rest of it. So think about that. And blood is actually about your emotions. But anyway, sidebar. But you see what I'm saying? Where in your life does it flow? Drought. So last week, that's what you would have been shown. So take a moment after this video to think about that and then zone in on it, because this second phase now that we're in is about integrating that, okay, I've got it. Okay, I understand. That's where my problem is. And I'm talking about business people, spiritual entrepreneurs, especially spiritual entrepreneurs, because we're so much more sensitive that we just literally don't even have to get close to the flame to get burnt. We just feel it in our soul that it's just all going wrong. So we're all got these different sensitivities, but the bottom line is it all boils down to, there is an area in my life that I'm just not safe. There is an area in my life that I am just not supported by spirit. So how can I have joy over here and nothing over there? It's a bit like that part in your garden where your water sprinklers just don't reach to, and you've got your roses and you've got your green grass, and then in the corner you've just got shitty nothing growing because your sprinklers just don't get that far. Okay, so we need to fix that. We need to have every single corner parameter just full of greenness and growth and abundance and joy to look at. That's what we're working towards here. So this pocket here that we're going through is very, very powerful. So that is for you to ascertain. And then where do you go to beyond this? Where you are called to go to is to now, two ways of doing it. You can breathe your joy and kind of like go into meditation and kind of like feel those areas that don't have that light, and just like energetically kind of like breathe into it and just, because the shift has got to happen within for you to be able to fix it out there. Okay. So there's no point me in diving into something now and basically creating an empire and just go, because I'm going to physically fix this issue I have where I have fear. But there's no point, because if I still hold fear within, it's still going to be a disaster. So the work has to happen internally, and then I engage with that and it will be tickety-boo, okay? So when we push our energy out and we push it into the areas that might not look as sparkly as they should do, we can do it that way. Also as well about clearing negative belief systems that are still lodged, maybe your spiritual belief systems, negative spiritual belief systems, or in the mental body, just belief systems per se. They are going to prevent you. Doesn't matter how hard you push. Doesn't matter how many emotions you clear. If you have a negative belief system, it will stop you in your tracks, and you will have that spiritual constipation / piles that I speak about. Hemorrhoids, spiritual hemorrhoids. That's what's going to happen, because I know why. because I have walked this path my whole life, and I've just now had a huge aha moment since last week, exactly where this issue is. So this is important. This is really important. So also, instead of expanding out, there is a second way to do this, and this is about integration. So remember, when we speak about wholeness, your path to wholeness, your path to oneness, this goes back to the I am union, the twin flame union with your beloved. That's you. I say this every video. This integration, this coming back home is with you, okay? And then everything out there will be in union. If it's with another one, physical form, happy days. It's going to be union with your business, with your money, with your kids, with whatever, but it's got to happen here with yourself. Okay, so this is the I am union we're talking about. So once we bring all of this energy back into oneness and wholeness, that means you have integrated. See, I'm giving you all the lingo that can confuse a lot of people. Then you've integrated your soul aspect. So when we call in our soul aspect, imagine you as a beautiful vase, and life has just shattered you, dropped you on the floor. Now, the job is to put that vase back together exactly how you want it, and you might make a beautiful mosaic with it, better than it was before. So we take that bit and we glue it to there. We take that bit, glue it to the end, until we've got the vase back, and it just looks beautiful. And now it's housing beautiful flowers and sunflowers, and it's amazing. It's a rad vase. That is your path to wholeness. That is what the I am union is. Jesus and a grandmother of Jesus and the Magdalens may explain it very, very differently, but in a very, very quick nutshell, that's what it's all about. So with relation to that, think about bringing in this. I'm going to use me as an example. This part of me in this business vibe that's basically like out there because I'm traumatized. I mean, I know exactly why I've got disconnection there. I figured it out. But now that soul piece is ready to come back in. That piece of the vase that's on the floor, which is needing to come together with the rest of this, comes back in, and we click it back in, and we're like, wow, completion. And then my energy goes, wow, and then I have flow. And then I can go out there and create. And then I have flow. There's nothing to worry about. My whole garden is now green. Everything's growing. Nothing gets missed by the sprinklers. You get what I'm saying, right? So this is quite a big tutorial. I mean, it's turning like 17 minutes. It's like turning into a workshop. So I hope you're ready for this. I say this every time. I'm going to do a quick share. No such thing. I need to also come to peace with that as well, that I will never do a quick share. So this is where we're all at. And this now requires a little bit of work on your behalf now. So as I've said before, reach out to someone, a group, to assist you in holding the space for you to now start to do this kind of work. Get in touch for a session, because I do the belief systems. We can clear the negative belief systems. We can put your mosaic jar back together. But this is what's required. And this is another thing that I want to, and I speak on behalf of all other light workers as well. The path to wholeness is a journey. And unfortunately, it cannot be attained in just one session. It has to be revisited, and it has to be supported. You have to do your meditation most days, every day if you can. You have to kind of you can't go to the gym and get flat stomach abs in one day and expect to be beach ready. No, you've got to go and basically turn up regularly and keep it going, because it's actually a lifestyle. This is actually a way of life. This isn't just a one tapping, because let me tell you, if I could go and heal myself in one session, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys now. It's a journey. So remember, as you invest in yourself, go and get your hair done, buy yourself some new clothes, go out for some food with the boys or the girls. You've got to invest in yourself spiritually as well. And it's really important. So making that investment will invest in all the other stuff. So it's a one-time hit in that respect. So if you're ready to basically do that kind of work and start everything I've spoken about, start bringing it into fruition, that's what you have to do. You got to book a session, we work, and then all of a sudden you're going to be doing it on your own anyway. Because why? You're empowered. Why? Because you're whole. So I just want to mention somebody who's actually assisted with me today. I worked with one of my very, very good friends who I work with from time to time, Tammy. She is a happiness coach, and she's also she's like a lifestyle business coach as well. And she asks you all the right questions to reveal those areas that are a problem and maybe invisible to you. Because in my areas of business, it was invisible to me until a few hours ago when I sat with Tammy. So she's very, very powerful and gifted in what she does. She helps spiritual entrepreneurs. That's kind of like her jam. So, there's so many people out there, not just me, that can assist you with all of this. And it's my job / our job to share all of these contacts, all of these places, these groups, everything where you can arrive at to support yourself. So the question is, when are you going to start? Do you know what I mean? If you haven't started already. But you know what? On that, I always go through an awakening every bloody week. So I always feel like I've come back to the beginning and I've renewed and then I start again. So I don't think there is any question of starting. I think it's just a continual, infinite journey of magical experiences, be it good, bad, or ugly. But they all get transmuted into light. So, I kind of think that that's just how it is. And I think as soon as we connect with that and we kind of assign ourselves to this journey, everything changes. You put a little bit of investment in that much, you're going to get only that much back. You do the whole way and you invest in you 150% and you come first before everybody because that's how God intended it, then it's a done deal. It really is a done deal. So shoulder pain or not, migraines in bed, breakdowns, nervous breakdowns, all these things that have happened to me in my life have brought me to this place. And you know what? Be it challenging or not, I love my life. I love working in these realms. I love working with people. And, every day I kind of just feel so blessed. So if you want a bit of that, I suggest that you dive in wholeheartedly and claim your sovereignty, claim your power. The time is now. So may the force be with you. And I'm going to sign off now. Peace.